choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Mr. B, XRP here, and welcome back. Happy Sunday. Hopefully it's a fun day for you. I have got a jam-packed, awesome video for you today. We're going to talk about can you live on your XRP without ever selling it? XRP was just on Fox this morning. Possible ETF flows, supply shock rumors. I want to talk about that too. And also the 4-year cycle. Is it still alive? Is it dead? I've got that. And 15 million it was 15 million potential customers coming and having the access to XRP. I want to go over that too. And we're going to do some chart analysis by Charles Hutchinson from Cardano. So let's just jump right into it. Let's look at the prices. We're still in the extreme fear place of 10, which is, you know, we don't feel the fear here. XRP people are not fearful. We've been through hell, so nothing scares us any longer. Bitcoin's at 95,779. Ethereum is at 3,170. Tether still holding comfortably at $1. And XRP's at $2.24. So let's jump into it. All right, so this was from Phil Kwok from Easy A. And some folks were talking about never selling their XRP. Can I live on my XRP interest? Blah, blah, blah. Phil jumps in and says, it's possible to have a loan you never actually need to pay off, because a crypto-backed loan could have no maturity. Now, let's say the crypto appreciates more than the interest you owe each year. You get to keep the crypto and live off the money you borrowed forever. So that sounds really sexy, right? So what I did was I went and I made a graph right after I read that and said, all right, let's see if this works. So I looked at the returns of XRP over the last several years, and here in 2021, it was 277%, right? 2022, it was negative 59%, but that was the SEC lawsuit, right? So that was the down year. Then 2023 was 81%, 2024 was 238%, 2025 so far is 99%. Phil might be onto something. He really might be onto something, because look, this down year in 2022, it's never going to happen again. Not that we couldn't have a down year, but we're never going to have an SEC lawsuit again. So I think Phil is onto something, and I think it's something to consider. Hey, before we get any further into the video, my sponsor is iTrustCapital. If you're interested in an IRA, a crypto IRA, there is no better company in the business, guys. I've been with them since they opened the company. Fantastic people, 5-star ratings on Trustpilot, 5-star rating on Google. Fantastic people. They also have PCA accounts, premium custody accounts. If you want to put your crypto where the big boys put their crypto, when I mean institutional grade, cold storage, you get it at iTrustCapital for free. Why wouldn't you want that? So take a look at iTrustCapital. I have a link in the description of the video. If you'd be so kind to use my link, excuse me, you will get a $100 funding bonus. So let's carry on. So I posted this on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, I'm at XRPMister. And it's a picture on Fox News this morning. They were wanting to show XRP, but they showed the Ripple logo. And I just said, the media still can't get the XRP graphics right. We'll take what we can get while you guys catch up. So, you know, look, I'm just glad that they're talking about digital assets out there, and we'll take whatever we can get. Anything positive is good. So, you know, the fear thing, you know, I had posted this yesterday about, you know, the fear being so high. It was a 10 yesterday, it's a 10 today. And then this person, John, on Twitter had posted this. He said 1% of the total assets under management, right? So total assets under management of all the companies that have filed ETFs, XRP ETFs, is $1.77 trillion. And he's suggesting that if just 1% of those folks came in, that would be $17.75 billion coming into XRP, if just 1%. And I think 1% is very conservative. I like where he's going with this thing. Look, at the end of the day, it's just math. They're coming. They're absolutely coming. So it's very, very exciting. We got lots of inflows coming in to ETFs right now. So this is another big thing out in the XRP community. People talk about, supply shock, right? Look, I want to see a supply shock. I would love to see a supply shock. We haven't seen it yet, but one of the things that I heard the other day, and it was from the CEO of, I believe CEO of Canary had mentioned this, is the in-kind transfers coming into XRP ETFs. When companies, institutions already hold XRP, some of them will trade that XRP for XRP ETFs because it's more compliant, it's easier for them to hold it. They don't have to deal with passwords and seed phrases, right? So they'd rather get the XRP out of their inventory and they'd rather hold the ETFs. Well, the advantage of that is that XRP now leaves exchanges, right? So because that XRP was most likely sitting on an exchange somewhere. So some of this, and in this particular post, Michael Branch said 140 million XRP rapidly left exchanges, signaling a major supply shock developing soon. Only 3.8 billion XRP remains on exchanges, increasing chances of sharp price movements. This could be absolutely 100% correct. And one of the catalysts could be that in-kind transfers coming into ETFs, that XRP may be leaving exchanges because the ETF companies may be taking it and sticking it in cold storage. So something to watch, something that I know a lot of people are excited and interested about, and we're going to keep our eyes on it. All right, Michael Saylor was talking with Grant Cardone about the 4-year crypto cycle. And listen, it's very Bitcoin centric, but it's still important, right? Because the Bitcoin 4-year cycle has always been tied to altcoin season. And with XRP being an altcoin, we're interested. We want to know. So let's listen to this. Let's listen to their opinion on the 4-year cycle, and let's let it rip.
How low do you think Bitcoin goes in the cycle right here? If it goes any lower, where does it go?
I think it's pretty stable where it is right now. Yeah. I mean, most of the liquidation selling is out of the system. I think we should rally from here.
And then where do you think it ends?
I don't believe in 4-year cycles anyway. I mean,
I never believed in the 4-year cycle.
I think that they might have had some credence in the first 12 years, but right now, the 4-year cycle is somehow based on the idea that 225 Bitcoin a day get taken out of the supply after the next halving. That's $22 million or $20 million of buying. Trust me, $20 million of buying. The market traded $100 billion yesterday. 20 million is not even a third order issue at this point.
Yeah.
The dynamics in the market are much more that, Jerome Powell thinks he wants to hold interest rates higher for longer, right? It's macroeconomics, it's political, it's structural. When IBIT's derivatives market went from 10 billion to 50 billion, it did that in 4 weeks. I mean, so those kind of things, when JP Morgan, offers 10 or 100 billion dollars of loans against Bitcoin, that will dwarf the 4-year cycle. It's the actions of the mega finance actors that are determining the future of Bitcoin right now. And all the fundamentals are good. So my advice to anybody is, first of all, if you make decisions with a 12-month or less time frame, you're a trader.
Yeah.
If you're a trader, you're a trader. I have zero advice for you.
Right.
I'm not a trader. I'm not a good trader.
Yeah.
I don't purport to be. I have zero advice for you. On the other hand, if you're an entrepreneur or if you're an investor, you should have a time frame of 4 years or longer, 4 to 10 years.
How low you think?
So I agree with that, right? 4 to 10 years. I'm a holder. I don't trade. I'm not a trader. But I think, look, I always tell my family and friends, don't buy anything you're not going to hold for 5 years or longer. Because if you held anything for 5 years or longer, anything of consequence, anything in the top 3, you're a winner. You're absolutely a winner, right? So I agree with him there. What I think is a little weird is he says, the 4-year cycle was accurate for the first 12 years, but suddenly it's not accurate now. Well, look, it might not be accurate now, right? Because the institutional money was always dripping into the digital asset market, and we didn't see it behind the scenes. But it's coming now at a level that it may squash the 4-year cycle. The 4-year cycle may still exist, but it may not be as sharp. We're not going to know until this thing plays out. So we have to let it play out. So back to this was SoFi, and I'd mentioned earlier that there had that there was a company that had 15 million customers that were coming in. Look, actually, I had it wrong. It's 12.6 million. There's 12.6 million customers on SoFi. SoFi announced earlier this week that they're going to be offering Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. But we also found out right here on their website, it says XRP. So they're going to have XRP on SoFi as well. 12 million potential people now are going to get access on SoFi into XRP. So we are excited about that. This was from Cointelegraph. Insight Wisdom Tree says crypto index ETFs will be the next adoption wave. So look, once we see the ETPs, which we're seeing now, which is the exchange traded products, right? Which means it's just one asset. We're going to soon see real ETFs, which are exchange traded funds, right? So fund is going to mean it's going to be more than one digital asset in that particular investment, and they're coming, and that's going to be, a big thing as well. There'll be a basket of cryptos, and I certainly think that the Ethereum, Bitcoin, XRP basket, would be the most popular basket, but it's coming, absolutely. All right, so this is Charles Hoskinson. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do two things. One is I'm just going to say XRP Las Vegas this year, guys. If you've never been to an XRP Las Vegas, it's amazing. So go to xrplasvegas.com. It's going to be April 30th to May 1st. It is the best time. I'm going to play out the video of Charles Hoskinson doing chart analysis, which I think is really great. So I'm going to sign off now, and then I'm going to let the video rip, because I think it's fun to hear Charles do it. So that's it for this one. Hey, if you're still here, you're my people. Admit it, get over it. So get on board, subscribe to my channel, hit the notifications button, share my videos with anybody you think might appreciate them, and it's free to subscribe, guys. I've paid for it for you. Just hit the subscribe button, no cost at all. I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Always do your own research. See you next time. Bye-bye.
I've been around the space for a really, really long time, and I remember all the ups and all the downs. Let's take a look here. All time. I lived through this boy right here. And so when we first started Cardano, guys, it was back here. Look at that. Around like 200. And everybody's like, I don't know. Is it ever going to go back to that all-time high of 1,000? No. So very briefly it was 1,000, and we all, just so bad. And then 2017, oh my God, $20,000? Whoa. And then, oh God, no, 3,800. Oh God, it's so bad. It's so bad. Why, God, why? And then all of a sudden, 2021, whoa. No, just kidding. Whoa, oh my God, look at that. It's so good. And no. Like $100,000, yay. Oh no, now it's falling. It's falling. Look at this, the numbers are so bad. What do we do? Except for Zcash, they're doing okay. But oh God, everybody else, the numbers are so bad. What do we do? Guys, I'm literally the meme of the person at the amusement ride, and he's going down on the waterfall, and he's got the person behind him pouring him the champagne, and he's just sitting there reading a book. It goes up, it goes down, and everybody freaks the fuck out. Paper hands, so papery. The thing is that the reason it has value is because there's lots of people who are opting out of a bad economic system. You tell me, have any of the fundamentals changed between now and a month ago or 12 months ago about crypto? Have any of the fundamentals changed? Any? Is the American debt going up or down? Is your confidence in the US dollar going up or down? Is your belief in the world getting along going up or down? Is your belief in technology being unequally distributed and causing social change that's counterproductive going up or down? When you look at every metric, and we ask ourselves in the year 2030, is that going to be a more peaceful, more prosperous, more honest, higher integrity world, or a less prosperous, less peaceful world?